I love the title on your slide there. So you think your maritime life cycle management is efficient? Well, perhaps everyone does until they hear what you have to say. So thank you so much. I think we'll hand straight over. Thank you, Geert.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for your introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shipbuilder. Today from a sunny Netherlands, which is not very common. My name is Geert, and you think your maritime life cycle management is efficient? Today, I will talk you to 3 topics. And the first is how I, as a data tech expert, am looking at a vessel's life cycle. The second part is how to get your life cycle management efficient. And the third one, I leave it to the last one, because it's the best, and I will show you 2 great best practices from our customers. Requirements are essential in the first phase of the ship's life cycle. And I wonder why maritime companies are still hiding their requirements in documents. Look at this specific shipbuilding specification. Hundreds of pages which are hiding critical information. This we call a traditional method nowadays, working with documents, but it's still being used too often. As a data expert, I look at requirements as being data. And this perspective enables you to use methods like, for example, model-based systems engineering or artificial intelligence in the widest sense of the word. And it would be nice for me to know how you look at this statement. And let's discuss this during the Q&A after my presentation. And you can note your questions now, so Sarah will have some time to manage them. What do we look at when we talk about the life cycle? That is what we see in this picture. Different phases, each one exchanging information with the other one. How do we guarantee that the information throughout the life cycle is actual and consistent? When you start with this type of a building specification, in a folder, hundreds of pages, probably several other dozens of documents, there is no chance you can make this successful. It will be very risky, and it will basically become an impossible project with a lot of failures. A document structure always is based on one or the other coding system. The SFI is a famous one in the oil and gas, but there are many other different coding systems. Documents and almost all software systems do not allow any other than one or the other coding system, but those are single dimensional. You cannot provide different coding systems next to each other, and this is very inefficient. If you start working with data, you also need structure. But working with data, new opportunities arise to generate multiple structures at the same time, so each stakeholder will have the most applicable structure for his tasks. Multidimensional structures can nowadays easily be managed by, for example, our intelligent shipbuilder software. At the end, this all has to do with cost efficiency. Not only with a positive impact in the concept design phase, but also for all the other operational phases of the project. If you apply this data concept right, you will not only bring down the CapEx for the vessel, but also the OpEx. If this is new to you, you can again raise a question on the Q&A, or I will be very happy to explain it at our virtual booth where you can meet us in live. These requirements we are talking about in the concept design phase also need verification and validation, because the ship owner wants to have the ship he has specified. We call the requirements wild, as nobody can guarantee that that the complete concept design is tested against the requirements. If you try this verification based on hidden requirements, like in such specifications, you have no other option than to start creating a testing plan manually, trying to read all the documents and all the requirements which are hidden everywhere. On the other side, if you were smart enough to start with data, the testing results will be generated automatically. At any moment you want, data from the calculations, from the specification, from the drawings can be matched against each other. So even as a part of the concept design deliverables. And this will guarantee a reliable start of the next phase in the life cycle of the vessel. I already used the words smart and intelligent. If your project team works the upper class way with data, and that is what you see on your left, the great new opportunity is that you will generate reliable knowledge, which you will be able to stream automatically into each new project, which you can see on your right. We are applying machine learning techniques to achieve a new successful way of working, connecting human engineering brains with smart managed data sets. As the verification and validation now is under control, also at the concept design phase, you can run your lifecycle management from a single source of truth. There is no way you can achieve this success if your requirements are hidden in documents. I keep repeating this. So what results have our customers by working this way with intelligent data? I will show you two examples. One example, one of the best practices, comes from our customer 𝐜𝐨-𝐬𝐬. In the past, 𝐜𝐨-𝐬𝐬 created her fantastic designs based in a document-driven way. However, it was very time-consuming and costly to verify and validate the end result. They needed 3 weeks to run to these results in a document-driven way. Nowadays, they work knowledge-driven. Ship functions, requirements, and calculations are managed as data and knowledge. The happy engineers now produce a 100% validated design, but only in 3 days. From 3 weeks to 3 days throughput time. Is this a shift? The second example comes from a design office in the defense industry. They design different configurations in order to match the requirements in the best possible way. They vary the propulsion train or vary the space plan, both with serious impact on multiple other systems and even construction. In a document-driven way, the end result always was a suboptimal design. And it took a lot of time to manage all the information hidden everywhere. So why did this defense design office choose for Shipbuilder? It is because they share the same vision with us. In the defense industry, expectations are always of the highest level. Our customer noticed big opportunities in managing the parents and childs of the different configurations with our Shipbuilder software. This way, their engineering brains were released from wasting time on finding information. This way, the engineering brains got connected to smart data sets managed by smart and intelligent software. Each design variant is automatically verified against the requirements. And as a result, in even a shorter time than before, more designs are evaluated, and the end result is the best design and ready for the rest of the life cycle. We will now have some time for Q&A. Sarah will manage this, but please also be invited to our booth, where you can meet us live in a video meeting. Thank you very much for your attention. And if there are no questions, Sarah, then I have a question.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geert. That was great, really insightful, and some compelling case studies in there of the amount of time that can be saved by adopting this very, very different approach. We have nothing in the Q&A right now, so I think if you like, you can ask a question or make another point. Up to you.
No, I'd like to ask a question. We always like to communicate, and at the end, it's about the human being. Huh? So it would be nice to see people who are involved with specifications, with requirements in any way, even writing or reading or whatsoever. How many? I just want to see a yes or a no. So, are your requirements managed with a view from data? Then the answer is yes. If you are still working with documents, then the answer is a no. Let's see whether this question comes through. Maybe you should repeat it.
So, data or documents? Are you more? I think you said, are your organisations data-centric or document-centric? So data-centric is a yes, and if it's document-centric, then it's a no. So have a post in the chat, a yes or a no.
Yeah, and then dedicated
yeses.
Then dedicated to the requirements. Huh? So yeah.
I did love your very large documents.
Yeah, still sitting in our office because we show it very often to people. This is
I don't blame you.
And we did it like this in the past, huh? Like 20 years ago. This was just very common. Now
so we have quite a few yeses coming in. I'm interested.
I can see them. So.
Yeah, okay, I can see them coming in on the chat. So far, they are all yeses. Oh, hang on, we've got a yes and no. but most of them are yeses. I'm interested in your thoughts about how customers respond to data rather than documents. Do you think we have a role in educating our customers about, and I can think of some of the customers I've worked with over the years, particularly, I'll pull a face because they'll probably get to me later, but particularly government customers seem to really like the big reams of documents, even if they arrive electronically, but it's definitely documents over data. I would say that's historically where we've come from, and some people get quite a lot of comfort, I think, from that. What do you think needs to change for people to change the way that they want to see or they want to use that information?
Well, we have just started to change, so to say. For example, we are working for the Dutch Ministry of Defense, and as you are referring to governments, document-driven, well, the Dutch Ministry of Defense already has a vision that that's not the future. So they have to change. Now, is this change going fast? No, not at all. It takes time. We are educated in a certain way, and to change our mindset is not a very easy one. So this takes time, and we should allow ourselves some time as well. But the fact is, the very simple fact is, document-centric or document-driven is not the future. It's from the past, and data-centric, data-driven is the future. Now, yes, requirement management can be done in a data-centric way since quite some years already, but then to pass on this data throughout the life cycle, that still is a challenge for most of the organizations. So are we changing? Definitely. And all the yeses are confirming this. But are we there at the final stage? No, we still have to do some things. And therefore we are applying NLP techniques. It's an artificial intelligence method to actually convert from this document-driven into the data-driven, to make this transition a bit more easy, because otherwise it becomes very complex. And also marine projects around 3, 4, 5 years, not to mention the defense projects. So every change you implement in new project, until you've learned from it, you're 5 years down the road. So so this all takes time.
Yeah, thank you, Geert. We have a few minutes left, and we do have a question in the chat if you're happy to take it.
Yes, I am.
It's from Anna Frizzell from the Royal National Lifeboat Institution.
Nice.
And Anna's question is, would this include design change implications to the energy use and waste during production, or is this purely for design verification?
It's a fantastic question. Thank you, Anna. And I love the RNLI, but that's a different topic. So it's already, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years ago that we published the sustainability knowledge base. Well, we were some years too early. This sustainability knowledge base actually contains a lot of requirements in terms of sustainability and the requirements around it. If you work knowledge-driven, so not just data-driven, but also knowledge-driven, this is a little bit a difficult topic to explain in 1 minute, but it means that data are interpreted by software and computers, and not only just by the human being. So the design change implications which you need for sustainability, like energy use and waste, as Anna is asking, can be included as requirements. And the requirements are connected, for example, to ship functions, but also maybe to the deliverables, for example, documents, or to the calculations you are making. So those requirements are instantly available and should also be verified and validated against the design result. So I think the simple answer is yes.
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 Yes. I think no, very, very clear. I like simple answers. Simple answers are good. We've got a comment in the chat from Robert Chaplin, just agreeing really with the point about the data landscape, from design to build to in service to disposal has all these discontinuities in it.
Right.
And he's saying, actually, as suppliers, we need to support our clients to come up with the solutions. We should be. I like the fact that you used use cases to demonstrate, and I think that's this will be iterative for our customers. They need to be taken on a journey. They need to build confidence, and the best way to do that, of course, is to give them good use cases, good examples of how it works to allow them to get on board. So yeah, it's good to see that level of agreement in the group.
Thank you.
Geert, you're the only speaker so far who's actually asked a question at the beginning. Is there anything else you'd like to ask in the last few minutes before we close?
Well, we could elaborate a little bit on this, on all those yes answers. And then the question is your data available in a multi-dimensional level? And the answer again can be yes or no. Multi-dimensional level means from each perspective, a purchaser, for example, has a different cross view on the data set than an hydraulic engineer, or than a customer who is looking at the functional side of the ship. So there are different perspectives. And this is what you need to manage. And very often we see people working, for example, with doors, and then it's not so easy to have all these different perspectives, and especially not if you want to transfer them into the next life cycle phase. But the question is your data available multidimensional from multiple perspectives? Then the answer is yes.
So there we are. Your last test to those sitting in the audience.
Exactly.
Is your data available in multi-dimensions? Yes or no? Let's see what comes in.
Yeah.
You didn't think you'd be tested while you were at a conference, did you?
I like to be tested, always. I like to be tested. So people want to test us, and not, I mean, the software, right? Just the vision we have. Please visit our booth. We are happy to answer all your questions in more detail.
So same again, Geert. We have a mixture of answers coming in.
Yeah.
So far, mostly yes.
Fantastic. That's very good news. I'm very happy with that.
Or not yet, but aiming to be yes, which is also good news, isn't it? Oh, that's brilliant, Geert. I recognise everything's been running to the right, and I'm sure everyone would like a lunch break and to come and visit you. So,
welcome.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Much appreciated. Lovely to see the energy and asking the audience questions. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you for sharing, Sarah.